Good morning. As you can see, the sun is out. Eugene, Oregon. It is March, the beginning of March, and we had a really kind of creepy, beautiful winter. And then a freak cold winter towards the very end. But I am so ready for the sun. Oh my goodness. I love and will never underestimate the power of the sun. It truly does help you feel happier. Granted, I should be taking a vitamin D supplement. My daughter, my husband, that is going to be a goal of ours to incorporate those in our life because, boy, it took a toll. But it is out more and more every day, and it's almost garden season, so I'm so excited. And I don't want to give you the wrong impression. Eugene in the spring, summer, and fall is amazing. So amazing. It truly is. I compare it to like childbirth. Like every mother forgets how rough the birth is in order to have another child. And that's what Eugene is. The rest of the year is so beautiful and magnificent that you forget how crappy the winters are. But I just kind of wanted to share. Obviously, this is a new channel, and I'm really excited for everyone that is subscribed. A lot of my family and friends who, again, are so supportive. And Viv, what's up, babe? Vivian and I are potty training right now. Let's check your panties. Are your panties dry and clean? Let's check them. Dry and clean. We're so proud. You remember to tell Mama if you need to go pee-pee and we'll put it in the potty, okay? Probably one of the biggest struggles I've had to date. You have to just let go of so much control with potty training because she's her own person and I can't make her do anything I want. But again, just so everyone knows, Joe and I are embarking on renovating our whole RV. It was kind of a sad circumstance. So our water froze and I thought I turned all the water off and left all day. And when we came back, like literally 8 to 9 hours later, I had turned my sink all the way on. And there was no water coming through for me to know that, and I didn't pay enough attention. And flooded the whole RV, like inches of water on the floor. The ground around the RV was flooded. It was just so much water, and it was freezing cold, snow. Our sewer our sewer line busted. One morning we woke up and the heater was not working because the element outside had frozen. Those freezing days really shook me, and I've really grown to realize that in my life it's pretty smooth sailing and I'm really blessed and have a really beautiful life. But when I do, hey Viv, please don't play with those. Thanks, honey. Thanks, honey. But when I go through those really hard struggles, I am doing it with more and more grace every time because I've learned that that's when I grow. That flood and those rough couple days made Joe and I really reevaluate what we were doing because we bought the RV to kind of unplug. Yeah. It's a little wet right now. Let's wait for it to dry up a little bit. Maybe after our show? Man. Oh yeah, reevaluate. We got the Winnebago and decided to live this kind of tiny minimalist lifestyle because that's kind of what we value. Joe and I were both never huge consumers or found joy or worth in things. And so when we got here, it's totally, I'm not like placing blame on us or it's like saying, what are you thinking? Because honestly, it's I use the reference, it's like ice skating. I don't know if you've ice skated around the rink when it had, right before the Zamboni comes out and smooths it over. There's so many grooves, and if you're not skating with enough speed, you fall into other people's grooves where the ice had been cut. And I've fallen more than once or twice ice skating for that because I'm afraid to go fast. But that's how life is. I mean, it's easy, it's more comfortable to, we've just parked the RV and are paying rent and are working and are doing the exact same thing as we would in, like, say, a rental house. But that's not really what we wanted, but it's comfortable. So we kind of fell back to that. And that flood kind of just made us realize that we had to replace all the floors. And then we took a look at the RV, and it is the first time of us owning a home, if you will. And we have learned so many lessons, and one of them is that we need to take better care of our home, with maintenance and just overall care. And so we're going to renovate the whole RV to be exactly what me and Joe and little Viv need. Oh, I love my hugs. Oh. And take better care of her and really treat her like she's a part of our family, which we named her Kerm J. My grandmother's name was Kerma, and she was such an inspirational woman to me. She was a woman that took no one's crap, and that is something I'm really trying to work on. Is through life I have definitely not wanted to make other people uncomfortable or not inconvenience others, and I've really shoved myself in the back. But that does not make for happiness. Trust me. I have probably twice a year some really big meltdowns because I've just put myself on the back burner. And as a mother, it's happened way more than before I had Vivian, because I'm already giving, like, probably the only portion of my self-care and my self-worry that I had previously to Vivian. And so I'm so grateful for her. I've learned giving birth to a child changed my life more ways than I can express. Hey, please don't kick mommy's arm, okay? It really has a way of pinpointing all of the traits in yourself that you would like to improve, because you are now an example for this human. And I personally believe the best way to teach is be an example. I wanted Vivian to be able to have a parent that I didn't really tell her what to do terribly much. She just saw the way I lived and the things I did and copied me. And it was humbling. I was very secure in myself, and, like, quite frankly, I, like, thought it was all down to me and I was my own everything. And then when I had a child, it really opened my eyes to, I don't want to scare people away with, like, religious beliefs. And I choose to use the word the universe. Some people say God or, excuse me. But I find that God specifically is a bit of a loaded word, and it really, unfortunately, turns people off. So I choose to say the universe. And that the universe does provide me with all the power I need for a beautiful life, and I can do that, but I also need to surrender and let the universe pick up the slack. I am a control freak, and I'm learning that more and more, and my control freakness just gives me so much comfort, and is like a binky or a pacifier or a blankie that a kid carries around. My control brought me so much comfort, but it also is extremely exhausting and nonsense. I can't control anything, so the more I'm trying to control, the more exhausted I get, and sometimes I just want to breathe. And I've learned that that's why I want to feel like I can just have a day to breathe, and it's to loosen my reins and not have so much control. but that makes me extremely fearful. I think it's going to be a lifelong thing, as most things are. Not a sprint, a marathon. But I think I've already improved a ton just realizing that that is a problem. I used to think it was just because I was efficient and I thought my way was the best way, and I thought I figured this out, but it has little to nothing to do with that. It is 100% wanting to control for comfort. I'm the second youngest of 6 kids. I was blessed with such an amazing family, but for the most part, I grew up quickly and was my own, I guess, self-parenting. I went to school by my own accord. I was really driven and wanted to get a good job and work hard, and all of those things were very self-motivated, which I think are wonderful attributes, and I think that's why I was really scared to give up those controls, is because I was like, if I lose my drive, and if I lose who I am. But that's not who I am. That is a huge false perk of a bad behavior. And because that's a false comfort, I've been doing a lot of journaling to really open up my eyes to those false truths and those false comforts that they give me, and shedding those away and realizing that those things are not helping me. They're holding me back. And when I let go of control and start trusting others, my thought process will be so much less, oh, these idiots that are surrounded me, or these lazy bums that don't do anything that are surrounding me. Those are really, really dark, terrible thoughts. And they're really opposite of how I try to have my thoughts be. And it's all because I want the control. So, long rant over. I've taken a deep breath and I'm so excited. A little afraid, but super excited for what's coming next. For those of you that don't know, since January 1st, I have become vegan. Best decision I ever made. My weight problems have been pretty much my whole life to my memory. I have been chubby or overweight, and not just overweight, but obese. I remember 4th or 5th grade, I had a friend, Candace Lundell, loving you, girl. But we used to spend hours at her house because her mom had workout videos and workout equipment in her basement. And I would call Candace and be like, let's do our workout videos. I don't want to be chubby anymore. I'm the second to youngest of 6 kids. My parents did so well by us. They worked so hard to provide for us. I grew up with wanting or needing nothing. Everything was provided for me that I needed. And I am eternally grateful for that. But the food that was in my family's home was kind of quick, easy, convenient. A child from, there's 10 years between the last child and the oldest child, 11 years. So age appropriate fast meals across the board. And so my weight struggle, my eating habits struggled. I think I ate a lot as a child, and then as I grew older, I started smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee and energy drinks and energy in general, and I drifted towards, I would go all day smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee and then have one huge meal at the end of the day, and it was never healthy food. These were foods, because I'd gone so long without eating, were quick and easy, and your mind, when you're really hungry, knows that carbohydrates are a quick energy and a quick food. And so I was craving things like breads and bagels and cookies and cakes. And these were the things I was eating. And it caused me to be sick, overweight, and tired. So in October of 2017, I really started embarking on some documentaries about the food system we have here in America. And I got sucked in. I just like went down the wormhole of all of this education on what should we be eating, what the human body isn't. I watched across the board, you guys. I didn't just watch vegan documentaries. I watched everything out there, pro and con. And my health is so high up there, but I always say I have the trifecta reasons. And it's hard to pick one because they are all so tied. My health, obviously, is one. The animals, really, really think about it. We have pet dogs, but we eat cows. I think all animals are created equal, just like humans. So if I'm not going to eat my dog, I'm not going to eat a cow. And I also am not going to eat any of their dairy products because they are straight up held captive and this stuff is taken from them. That's slavery. And like I said, all animals are created equally to me. And I wouldn't put my animal, my dog, my pet through that kind of stuff. And I don't see why it's necessary to put any other animal through that. And the third, but really the biggest reason that got me started was economically, you guys. Oh, I'm going to try to calm down because I'm just so passionate about it. I do have a child, and I am so much more conscious of the future generations and what's going to come than I was before I had a child. I was kind of just living my life. But now I have a child that I'm going to want to continue to grow and have a world to live on. The meat and dairy industry, in my humble opinion, is so it's not sustainable. It's taking so many more resources than are necessary to feed us. I not only believe that a lot of our global warming and planet issues will deplete, and I do not think it's too late. We can absolutely come back from this. We are the human race. We have so much power. We are so intelligent. We have infinite possibilities, and it is not too late to reverse and improve what we've done to the earth, because we've done some gnarly stuff to the earth, guys. But if we eliminated meat and dairy processing altogether and just had agriculture, we could feed the world. We could feed the world, you guys. There will be no sick, sad, dying children from starvation anywhere. And I get a little emotional because I think it's really, really sad that there are children in the world that don't have food and water. That's really sad. And I would really like to help that. So I'm spreading the word of farming and produce and gardening. And actually one of mine and Joe's goals when we unplug and aren't locked down, I'm driven and I'm going to make it happen. We are going to go to, we'll obviously start somewhere, but I'd like every city and town and every little community to have a garden. I think it will not only bring the community together in the sense of community, in the sense of we are the masses, we are people, we're all in this together, has really depleted, in my opinion. So I would love to do just a simple thing of a huge community garden where everyone comes together and works and eats healthier. And the first time I saw a strawberry grow and saw that it came from the middle of a flower and out came this beautiful strawberry, it blew my freaking mind. And I was 21 or 27. It was here in the RV that we grew our first strawberry, and I was, for the first time I ever really noticed and saw that. And I would like to, like I said, I was an obese kid that didn't realize that fruits and vegetables were food. They were kind of like sides or snacks. I didn't realize that they are the perfect food for us, especially greens. I wanted to educate other kids so they don't have to think that they're lazy and fat. And it's because they're lazy and eat too much that they are fat. I think that's a really rough way to grow up and believe as a small kid that you're lazy and gluttonous, when a lot of the times that's not the case. It's this food you're eating in the grocery store that is processed to be delicious and taste exactly how a chip's supposed to taste, or exactly how bread is supposed to be fluffy and delicious. And they add sugar, fat, and sugar and fat to these things to make them, that ignites things in your brain that make you think, yes, bring it. Trust me, one time Vivian was still eating a traditional yogurt, and it was maybe like a couple weekends ago that Joe got her, and I was cleaning up the mess, and without even thinking, I licked my finger. I haven't had dairy in 2.5 months, and that one little lick of my finger, I swear, you guys, I felt it be like, oh yeah, keep it coming. And it truly opened my eyes to, these children are addicted. I'm talking to the mamas and dads out there. Your kids are becoming addicted to these foods. And these foods are the last thing you want your kids to be eating. Hey. I'm not sure why you're crying. It's the last thing you want your kids to be eating, trust me. Unless you want them to be tired, fat, and sick. So let's take the power back, parents. Let's garden. Let's teach our kids vegetables and fruits aren't just a side on a plate. They should be the whole thing on your plate. And I am so excited because I'm going to share my goal for 2018 is to become such a good food preparer that my husband and Vivian will become vegan with me without compromise. Yeah, look at that. That's a number sign. And a 1. And so far I've done really good, considering I used to spend no time in the kitchen. I'll finish this video when my child doesn't need me. Love you guys.